Hello everybody, it is I'm So Cutie, and we are so back with another card tech. This one has been seen play since the beginning, but I wanted to highlight it and kind of justify it and kind of talk about it today, especially right before, the day before, the night before DLC Bologna in Italy. I did say it right this time, but let's get right into it on why this card is good, why this card may be bad, why this card should be played. Let's get right into it. So I am actually 1400 plus now. I am officially in like Masters pretty like comfortably. I am playing a lot more recently. So it's been pretty good. So I am in Masters. Again, the meta is dominated by a lot of single target removal. So I wanted to just highlight a lot of cards that are just basically in every deck, right? So we have Elsa, Belle, Strength, super good staples, 4/4 everywhere. Hades has seen 4/3, depending on green-blue, obviously, but basically 4 of everywhere. Basil as well. There's also John Silver, and then there's Scrump that requires a chosen target. So these are cards that are 4 of at almost every single deck, and to put a card in and to tech a card that basically can nullify or bait 12 to 16 cards of a deck is just absolutely mind-boggling. It also helps a lot to protect your own curve, especially when you don't have the optimal line. And I'll get into that just a little bit. Again, this is also because 90% of the top cut will have one of these colors, 100%. So 100% of the top cut will have one of these colors, and you'll be nullifying those cards. Again, it's already being played. It's been a super popular card. It's like hit or miss. A lot of lists don't have it, and they run perfectly fine. And then a lot of lists do have it. The only reason why I really want to highlight it, especially as a card tech, is because of events just like DLC Bologna and DLC Milwaukee. They're going to be having a huge diverse meta pool, and just things might come across and surprise you. And something like Aurora is just a super good insurance card to have in the deck, and it honestly does its job super well. So again, this is a 6th place at the card diff CCQ. This was a 6th place finish by Luke Delaney. Again, a phenomenal player, and obviously knew his deck inside and out to be playing some odd little things. But again, Aurora is there, Aurora is placing. So this is the first list with Aurora. Again, you do not sacrifice any consistency. It's kind of just a card tech slot, basically over the Kita slots, right, that we teched last week. But it has been performing pretty good. The thing is, if you don't open Belle or Genie and you only have your Genie on the play or the Dumbo on the play, it is very lackluster, right? Because if you don't respond correctly, or you don't have another Genie or anything to have 2 down, you're just going to get punished by getting responded to with a Genie and an Elsa as well, right? Because usually they'll just play the Genie as well and be like, damn, you're going to eat it. I'm going to have to play my Belle and have a really messy turn, and etc, etc. You just get punished for it. So having another 5-drop in that slot that can protect the Genie, right, and cannot be cleared by the Elsa Genie is huge. Because what if you draw into the next turn, right? Or now you can go into TikTok, and now they can't Hades the TikTok. That is just such a huge difference maker, especially on curve. It is just such a good 5-drop in the mirror, and that is just, again, a super good card that we haven't seen that much of, but it makes sense because when the deck needs it, and in the late game, if you go second star and you draw into 2 of them, it's GG, it's over, you have 2 of them on board, game's over. And that's something just like second star. It's just a card that can exist in this deck because this deck is so powerful that dropping it is just win more, right? It's just amazing. Again, a little bit teched into green-blue, simply because mirrors also rely so much on single target removal. An Aurora, maybe even teched at 1 or 2, could be amazing just to bait something. And also, again, another thing is just baiting Hades chains. It's just such a good card to have, and I honestly enjoy it a lot. Favorable trade lines, again, like I gave with the example of the Aurora and such. If there's a turn where you're going to get Hades, Elsa, Basil, like, why not just let them take Aurora, right? They take Aurora, and now you are winning the Hades chains, and you are winning the Into the Unknown chains, simply because you have Aurora. And there's no 2-piece combos, there's no anything, because they can't do things before addressing the Aurora, right? It's just such a good step to have, and maybe they only have unknowns and they really don't have any way to exert, and they were planning to double unknown you. Now they can't because your Aurora is going to be standing, and that's just such a strong card to have, especially on these really top end decks where you get punished for having something exerted even, or not having a wide enough board. A simple Hades into Bell turn could just absolutely flip board state, and from 5 cards now you're down to 2. And this also nullifies Bell, it nullifies the Elsas, nullifies Big Elsa. You know, it's just such a good card, and it makes for really messy lines that you adapt off of and benefit off of due to the chaos of it. So it's just a really good card at breaking curve. Also, the idea of dead cards, of like, there's cards that people want to hit on curve so that you can't get curve pieces, you know? And Aurora just kind of sucks it up. Like, she's the 5-drop that says, like, okay, like, you want to break my curve going to 6-7, but you are just going to have to blast me and produce 5 damage, because now you also run the risk of producing another Aurora the next turn and being fully locked out of actions. That is such a big demand, and almost always demands them to make an incorrect move into your board because they're scared of the idea of the second Aurora. And so they have to hit the almost useless Aurora, but obviously not useless because she's doing the job of demanding a very high value resource in the situation. And if they into the unknown it, right, like something like Elsa and then Genie sings Unknown, what are we doing? You're gonna fly to 7 ink? That is banging. That is awesome. Thank you so much. I'm gonna, just win the game now. So again, it's such a little like math thing, little interaction thing, but it's been super good. And I just want to come on here. Obviously, this isn't like my original tech, and I'm just kind of like exploiting what has been seen, and just kind of deliberating on why this card is good. Because sometimes people don't understand why people are playing different cards, and until they're losing a match in DLC Bologna and DLC Milwaukee to a random player that they've never heard of, but somehow they have like the craziest tech, and they see this Aurora and they just get smoked. They're like, dang, if I would have come into this event with an Aurora, I would have done better. And I felt that a lot of times. So I just want to give that heads up, right? Again, if you have 2 of them, it's basically lockout. You're going to be performing super, super well. Double ward, never tap them. Yeah, it's pretty nasty. That's like the ultimate thing that you really want. It's not really why you play Aurora, so I definitely want to preface with that. It's not why you play Aurora. You don't play Aurora for the lockout. You play Aurora for the curve breaking, and she's just very good at doing what she does. The only counter really in this meta is Under the Sea and Heads Held High, but again, the counter play to the counter is to never allow them to do both heads and both heads and Under the Sea, and that is usually very easy for something like Blurple to do, and again, something very easy for green blue to do, especially with their single target removal as well. The likelihood is that matches would become even grindier. Again, deck techs are meant to make the game harder for the opponent, and similarly, easier for you to manage a very disadvantaged situation. So it will feel grindier, but the fact that you can grind out of a situation is already much better than just absolutely losing the situation. That is the biggest thing, right? Again, pros overall, turn 5 is just not congested in blue. There's usually so many times where I'm deck building and I'm like, I do not have a turn 5 card, because every turn 5 card in blue sucks. So, Ward, obviously, crazy. Not on herself, but to everybody else. Again, reasons why we curve break. Amazing. Removal for bait, like I explained before, super good. Remains consistent. Again, inkable techs are just so good at keeping decks consistent. And being able to put a card like Aurora into a deck for, like, basically free is just so strong. And I do enjoy it. I personally enjoy the card a lot, and I've been playing around with it. I will be honest, I don't necessarily know if I'll keep it in just because of a deck list existing with like a lot of TikTok and stuff. But again, I do see its benefit. Like when I play with it, I see its benefit and I play to it and I play with it, but I can also do without it. I'm just really on the fence about it, but I really do think it's good. Like something that may also counter is like Monstro, but like it's just a difficult kind of thing. It's just kind of your playstyle and how grindy you want a game to be. But in mirrors, especially Aurora and Kita, that I previewed the other day, is just super good. In mirrors and stuff, in blue, it's just so good, right? It's just so good. Cons. Oh, also, sorry. Sorry. Also, Emerald Chromacon. If you play Aurora and you start trading correctly off of Chromacon can only hit Aurora. and Chromacon is a really big thing that destroys Blurple. I didn't highlight that, so I'm hoping people got to this part of the video and heard me say that, so thank you. And then cons, not evasive, obviously, so no Dumbo synergy, but it is really good for locking out again. And then a really good person to be singing second star with, it can protect stuff like your Basil and your Genie, and then if it can't remove the Aurora, you basically have second star guaranteed on turn 4, turn 5. It'd be a turn 5 sing, right? And then the hand economy, obviously, it's just not a card that draws you another card, which is just something that blue struggles with without things like Clarabelle, second, Genie, and Dumbo chains, right? But again, I just want to come on, give a super quick video talking about why this card is good, why this card will see play, why this card should see play, why this card should be in your Blurple, why it should be in your blue. And again, it does exist. Don't lose to it. I have warned you, and thank you guys for tuning in for another card tech. Super detailed, super fast. Just had to get it done. I'm currently working on a paper, but again, thank you guys very much, and I'll see you for the next one.